Now, we're going to move into our next section. We've already concluded our chemical preparation. You had 8 minutes to complete your 4 sections and apply your base cream. Now, we're going to move on to the next section of this examination will be your foil highlight application. When instructed by the rater, you will apply 2 subsections in a quadrant of your choice using foils. This section is untimed. Again, based off of the facility you go to, you may be given 8 minutes to complete it. You might get one rater to come around and follow the directions as to what was just read to you. Remember, it's still 2 foils and you listen to what is being directed. Then she will say, you may begin. That is when you open up your product, you pour it in. Fill your jar up the first time if you want to. Then you're going to save your product. You do not discard it, but you definitely close it back up. Now you go in, and it is now time to part for your section. You can do either foiling with your slices, or you could do your weaving technique. I am going to go with my slicing, and we're going to slice this at 1/8 of an inch. Make sure that it is so thin you can read fine print. I'm going to get that underneath. I'm going to slide it out. You notice I'm pulling it. I'm pressing on my client's hair. I'm going to dip up me a nice amount because I want to saturate it. I'm going to lay it flat, and I'm going to pull with one pull completely down. Raise it up. Go ahead. Make sure you have enough product on there that it will saturate the front and the back of your product. You then fold. You saturate the front and back of that hair strand. You then fold it. You can fold and you can fold. Now you want to flip your over. Now you're going to part another section, creating a sandwich. You're going to then part their hair over and out your way. Now you're going to part another subsection. Make sure it is going to be 1/8 of an inch. Make sure it's 1/8 of an inch. It's so thin you can read fine print. You can see straight through it. That's also going to ensure that you have enough product. Fold your foil over your chemical comb or chemical brush. Get it up under, real tight up under those roots. Pull down on it. Take you a nice section of product. Lay it on. Pull it down with your one pull. Make sure it's pulled down. Make sure you have enough product where your entire ends are completely saturated. You always rather have too much product than not enough. Fold it over. Lock it in. You're here. I'm going to fold on the opposite side, locking my foil. I'm going to make sure I got the brush, extra hair off my brush. Whatever you do, do not stand your brush up in your bowl. Lay it across your bowl, making sure that it is free of hair. Lay it flat. Flip your foils down. Lay them flat. Step back and raise your hand. And you're going to continue throughout the entire head, doing anywhere from 1/4 to 1/2 inch partings. And you use your brush to create your line of demarcation to stop you from going to the roots. And you run it all the way down, making sure you leave yourself 1 inch from the ends. Raise it up, coat the back of that strand, pulling one full strand, laying it over. Making sure you are completely saturating your hair. Make sure you're being consistent. I'm looking, I put tension on there, and you apply your tension. Lay your brush, creating your line of demarcation. Put more product on there, run that all the way down, making sure you leave a 1/2 inch on the bottom. Catch that product from below, bring it all the way up. You got a 1/2 inch, lay it over. Continue. Lay your brush on there, leaving you a 1/2 inch, creating your line of demarcation. You notice how my product fell. I want you to stop. Even if you have to lay your hair over, stop. Get you a paper towel. Clean that off your client. Wipe it off your station because you do not want anything soiled. You want to make sure that your drape stays in place. So my drape came loose. I will stop what I'm doing. Like I said previously, I'm going to fix my drape. Make sure my drape is still on my client. Disinfect. Clean that off. Sanitize my gloves. Bring my hair back down. And continue to work. Now I'm going to bring it all the way, making sure I have coated front and back strand, making sure nothing is nothing. And remember, you have 8 minutes for this section. Lay it flat, run it all the way down. Make sure you catch the product from underneath because I do leave a lot of product on my brush. Saturate it, bring it all the way up, and let it come over. Then, this is when you're going to bring each one of your sections back down. Even if you pick it all up and rock it down so it'll fold down, you're going to come back. Pick up your first strand. Well, come through, part, pick up that first strand that you had. This is where you're then going to come coat the entire root because now you're going to saturate and smooth it and demonstrate smoothing, bringing it all the way to the end. You can flip it over, take it. Make sure you do not leave your brush in your product. Lay it back across your bowl. And this is your opportunity to stop. And then you're going to raise your hand and indicate that you have completed your Virgin Relaxer. Your Virgin Hydroxide Relaxer. Now I'm back at you again, and we're now moving on and proceed to our next service, which is going to be the Virgin Relaxer. It'll be read to you as follows. All scoring has been completed. We will now proceed to the next section of this examination. Your next section is Hydroxide Relaxer Retouch Service. Please complete a relaxer retouch, assuming you have 2 inches of new growth, and you will have 8 minutes to complete this section. You will be informed when you have 4 minutes remaining. You may begin. This is where I'll come in and use my spatula to get the remaining of my product out of my jar. You notice I keep my brush on top of my chemical bowl, so I do not leave it on lay it on my workstation. Now I'm going to close my product up. I'm going to discard that and the spatula. I am now going to go forward and I'm going to complete my relaxer retouch. I will have 8 minutes to complete this section and 4 minutes to be informed that I've already completed. I'm going to take my hair. I'm going to come around, pick it up. I'm going to tap in my roots, making sure I saturate my roots all the way around. Making sure I have my roots completely saturated. I'm going to come in, parting 1/4 to 1/2 inch. Remember, my knuckle is going to indicate that I am at an inch. So I'm going to count 1 because I'm going to measure 1, 2. That lets me know I need to drag this all the way down. You'd rather have too many inches than not enough. Lay it across, come in. Always coat underneath. Make sure you're being consistent with your partings. And it's okay if you lay it flat. Coat the hair underneath, hitting them roots, assuming that you have 2 inches of new growth. You want all your points. Come in, bring that hair up. Watch this product. I do prefer using a thicker gel. I always try to use the conditioner because it is definitely a lot thicker and you have a little bit more control and you'll be able to apply your product. Underneath, turn it over, always assuming that you have 2 full inches and you are coating that hair. Do not be stingy with your product. Be very generous. Coat that hair all the way down, making sure you got 2 inches. You should be able to see 2 inches from behind and on the front. When you flip it over, and you should have it all the way on your sides. Whatever you do, do not half step. You want your full 2 inches completely coated. Making sure you are very consistent with your partings. Making sure your work area is still clean. Making sure you maintain your drape so you do not lose points. Again, you rather have 3 inches versus 1.5 inches coated. Because if you don't, you did not follow directions and you will not receive all of your points. Work your way all the way down. You should be able to complete this service in your allotted time that you are given. Bring it down, coating that strand. Always double check that you got 2 inches. Coat the strand underneath. Underneath, bring it down. Now you can bring each section down. You could bring all of it up at one time. Hold it up as I truly prefer. And then you can rock your sections out and lay them down and you'll be able to see all your sections. When you are done, that's when you will clean your work area. Before you raise your hand, you want to clean your work area. Fold your paper towel into your bowl. You fold it all the way in your bowl, which helps your product from flopping and going out everywhere. Then you go ahead and remove your gloves. Take your mannequin, undrape her. I typically have a plastic bag to put on top of my mannequin at the end. And I wrap my head. Although I've seen where they take the whole entire cape, fold it over their mannequin when they're done, but you can't do that because you need to be able to first get your points. Discard everything, throw it in the trash, remove it all, throw it in the trash. Always remember to disinfect your table. Disinfect your table, wipe all of it off, make sure it's completely dry, stand back, raise your hand to be able to indicate that you have completed your service. They're going to come through, check it, see if it's already completed, which it is. Then you will wait. And that concludes our service for our chemical service. Now we'll proceed.